morning. I am Amritika from grade 7 of Don Bosco School is going to tell something about democracy. Today is great day for India because as India is a democratic country, we today are going to celebrate International Day of Democracy. It started in India from 2007. India is a democratic republic. It means that both the president and the government is elected by the people. Why democracy is considered the best form of government? Because it stands for will of the people. Today I am going to discuss some important pillars of democracy. So let's start. The first pillar of democracy is enlightened citizens. It means that people should be aware of their political rights and they should be well informed and socially responsive. They should be able to take right decisions at right interval of time. For this, they should be educated, they should be enlightened, morally upright, and they should be healthy enough by socially, mentally, or physically. Thus, political awareness is an important condition of democracy. Politically enlightened citizens will be able to judge the merits and demerits of different candidates. The second pillar of democracy is wise leadership. What is wise leadership? It only does not stand for the leading of wisely. So let's discuss about it. After the elections are over, the party which gets the majority forms the government, and if any of the parties does not get a majority, a coalition government is formed. For this, the voters should be enlightened. If the voters are enlightened, they will be able to judge and they will be able to elect the enlightened and committed leaders. If these leaders and wise leaders will rule the country will process in a truly democratic manner. The third important pillar of democracy is sound public opinion. Public opinion is something based on the wishes of the people on any issues or problems. The people can describe or possess their problems through agencies like political parties and mass media. No democratic society or no democratic party leader should be ignored it. If they ignores it, the people can remove him or her in the next elections. The fourth pillar of democracy is accommodation of differences. Tolerance and inclusiveness are an important feature of democracy. After the elections are over, the party which gets the majority obviously forms the government and rules it. But the minority party should not be in an arrest. They should be freedom. They should get the freedom to express its opinion. So, tolerance is very important during this. The fifth pillar of democracy is disciplined citizens. We should be disciplined in the following ways. First, we should be able to express the views of other. We should respect the views of other. Second, we should perform our rights and duties. Third, we should not quarrel with each other. We should not be violent with each other, but we should persuade with each other. This is very important condition. The sixth but not the least is the disciplined political parties. What if the citizens are disciplined, enlightened, but political parties are not disciplined? So it is very important that they should also be disciplined. If they are disciplined, the elections will run in a truly democratic and smooth manner. The political parties help in creating public opinion and persuade to vote for them. Thank you, and once again, Happy International Day of Democracy.
Good morning to one and all present here. Here I am Sovik Dasgupta of class 7 come forwarded to give a brief discussions on pillars of democracy. Democracy, after we know what is the pillars of democracy, we have to first know what is democracy and its importance. So democracy is a form of government in which all the people have the authority to choose their own leaders and have a weak legislature of the country. Has its own democracy, but our country, India, is the largest democratic country all over the world. We celebrate this day as the Democracy Day in 15 September 1956. Now, after what is its important, we have to clear about it. Has any democratic political parties representations and different sections among the Indian society and the regions, and the core values of the major role of the political parties should have the electoral processes. The people of India should choose the representative and the political parties should run the government processes. Now I will discuss the pillars of democracy. The pillars of democracy consist of wise leadership, disciplined citizens, sound public opinion, disciplined political parties, voter rights. Now I will discuss what is wise leadership. Wise leadership means the decisions taken by the government to work for the leaders of the party. The leader should be control the party for any conflicts and the people by the principal media contact. Disciplined citizens. Disciplined citizens in democratic setup. The disciplined citizens is a clear awareness of the rules followed by the government strictly. The pupil must have known what is the political setup and how they will elect their own leaders. There should be compressed knowledge about the political parties. They should know about the work being done by the leaders, and the government should give the right to all the people to greet their politicians and give the rights to vote. Sound public opinion. Public opinion is consist of the desires, wants and thinking majority of the people. It consists of the collective opinions of the people. It comes from the concept urbanizations. The other political parties must be forces for the time to become important by the people through its form, the political content and charged. Democracy requires public opinion because it deserves the authority to the public. Discipline political parties. Parties discipline commonly refers to the ability of the party leader. Influences, members and supported leaders must be to the legislature. In modern democracy, parties' discipline is often difficult and achieved to be legislated, have to be respond local needs of the pupil and must work for the welfare of the pupil. Voter rights. Voter rights require the rights of the vote, and the democracy must look after the votes of the people of that area. Directly or indirectly, all the adult citizens and women have the right to access the public services in this country. I hope you like it. Thank you.
A very good morning to one and all watching this video. Wishing you all a very happy International Day of Democracy. I am Shriyanka De, a student of grade 9. Today I am here to say a few words on this auspicious day. Democracy Day marks the day the military handed over power to an elected civilian government in 1999. It is a tradition being followed annually beginning in the year 2000. In 2007, the United Nations General Assembly resolved to observe 15 September as the International Day of Democracy for the purpose of promoting and upholding the principles of democracy. Democracy is that form of government where we, that is the citizens of the country, has the right to choose and elect their representative. So now coming to some of the advantages of democracy. First, democracy gives the people a chance to get personally involved with the government because the government in democracy is under the control of the people because the people has the right to choose their leader. So the fate of the government in democracy lies in the hands of the public. Second, the structure of democracy safeguards against the misuse of power. In the democratic government, the power is not concentrated in the hands of only one people. It is divided among certain people. Suppose the power is only given to one person and that particular person becomes immensely powerful. So there is always a chance that he or she can misuse the power. So in that case, democracy safeguards the misuse of power by dividing the power among certain people. Number 3, democracy encourages equality. Democracy is based on the principle of equality, that is, each and every individual is equal before the eyes of law. Every people has the right to elect their representative and nobody should be discriminated on the basis of caste, creed and gender. Number 4, last but not the least, democracy creates stability. Democracy has laws and rules to create stability and protect human rights. So to conclude with, I feel that being a citizen of a democratic country, we should all celebrate this day with immense pride and honor. Once again, wishing you all a very happy International Day of Democracy. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Good morning. I, Sneha Biswas of grade 9 of Don Bosco School would like to take some time from your busy schedule and let you all know few facts about the significance of this day. Nationwide, 15th September is celebrated as the Day of Democracy. So let me start with a small explanation on what democracy actually means. Democracy allows one individual to choose his or her representatives or rulers. Democracy has a big set of advantages to its side. It protects the interests of citizens, it promotes equality, it prevents the misuse of powers, and it gives the country a stability. The presence of democracy in a country helps it flourish. Democracy is the opposite of dictatorship. That being said, the people in a democratic country has the freedom to choose what they want. In 2007, United Nations General Assembly resolved 15th September as the Day of Democracy with the purpose of promoting the principles of democracy. Democracy basically is based on collective consultations and discussions which help improve the quality of decision making. As quoted by Farrah Fawcett, that everything has positive and negative consequences. There are possibilities of making wrong decisions in a democracy, but such mistakes cannot remain hidden from the people for long. To rectify the mistakes, the citizens make a fair choice at the next election, thus ensuring a better government. By this, I conclude my speech. But lastly, in this pandemic situation, I want you all to stay home and stay safe. Thank you.
I'm Vidhi of class 7. Today I am going to explain what is democracy. If we hear the word democracy, many words take place in our mind, like political parties, equality to all the people, etc. etc. But democracy is considered as best form of government. It was declared on 5th September 2007. Democracy is divided into many parts, like elected citizens, wise leadership, sound public opinion, accommodation of differences, disciplined citizens, disciplined political parties, and social and economic equality. So, what is enlightened citizens? Enlightened citizens here means that citizens should be politically aware that what is going on in political parties and upright. Morally upright here doesn't mean that they should be graduated and all. Correct evaluating, decision-making capacity, and appropriate physical, social, and mental health. They should know whom to vote and whom to give the chance to make the government. They should elect the right people who can run the government properly. Wise leadership. Wise leader, public people have the power to elect the government. Here in country like India, we have vast population, so people cannot go in one place to elect the government. So government has made some places so that we can go in near our houses and vote for them who can make the government. Public meetings are held where the people can express their problems and issues so that government can help them to help the people. Party which gets maximum votes from the government. To whom we like that we give vote to them and who get the maximum vote they form the government. A coalition is formed if none of the party wins. Now, sound public opinion. Public opinion is valued. Here, government have to listen to public opinion because we have made the leader, so they should respect us. Right to formulate sound. Even minority can express their problems and issues. Here, minority means who get the lower votes, who get the least votes in elections. People have the right to remove the wrong person from the government. If people have elected one government and he is not working the government properly, so they can remove him from the government in next elections. Now, accommodation of differences. Accommodation of difference. Tolerance and inclusiveness. Here it means that they should have tolerance. They should listen to people and doesn't shout on them. Minority also has the right to state their opinion. They should give the chance to minority so they can help them also. We should respect the freedom of majority. We should listen what majority have taken the decision. All should respect the rights and others' opinion. We should respect what is right and others' opinion, we should value them. Now, disciplined citizens. Politically aware. They should be aware what is going on. Disciplined citizens should respect the views of others. Every citizen should respect the views of other people. Citizens should be aware of the rights and duties. They should work hard to make our country better. Now, disciplined political party. They are elected by citizens. We elect them. So, they should work for welfare of our and they should listen to public's opinion. They should listen what we are saying. Now, social and economic equality. This is very, very important. It is based on equality and human dignity. Should be free from all the forms of discrimination. No one should be discriminated from caste, creed, gender, social background, and all. Every citizen is equal before the law. If all members are respected, then only we can call it democratic. Every citizen is equal before the law means if it is from high background or lower background, it will get the same punishment if it does the wrong things. Thank you.
Why we have gathered here? And why are you seeing a screen which has written democracy? And I will also request the viewers to check the date. And it will be 15th September. So what's special about that? Why we are gathering here for a TED talk about democracy in 15th September only. Congratulations! I am Sai Maina of grade 7, a student of DBSA, going about a short TED talk about the democracy. And the special thing about the 15th September is that today is the International Day of Democracy. So, without talking much, let us start. I thought that I will divide this TED talk into the 3 points. These points are introduction to democracy, pillars of democracy, and about 15th September. It is a very interesting point, right? So let us start with introduction to democracy. So, what is democracy? Type of government, right? So, what is a government? You already know that a government is a people or a group of people which forms or looks after the welfare of the people of that region. So, here you can see in the screen already. And you already know that there are the 3 types of democracy or 3 types of government. So the first one is monarchy, dictatorship, and the last one or the very famous and the helpful one, that is democracy. So I will request the viewers to give the attention as well as me and as well as the screen. So what is the next point? We are keeping on the focus of democracy, right? So let us look about what is democracy and why. What are the advantages of the democracy? So you can be seeing this picture that there are many hands which have been raised, and here is a democracy written, and here it is freedom, participation, representation, and what is this all? So let me make you understand this. So democracy is a form of government in which people participate in the forming of government. Unlike monarchy, in which in monarchy there is a rule of a king or a queen, and in dictatorship it is like monarchy, but there is a all-powerful dictator. But unlike this all, democracy is the power of the people. In this process, people will elect and choose their leaders. So let me know this to you that there are 2 types of democracy, and that is direct democracy and indirect democracy. Direct democracy is where the people will directly choose the leader, but that is not possible in a highly populated country like India. So there is one more option, that is indirect democracy for highly populated country like India. So here what happens is people will elect a man or person called as representative, which or who will represent their people wishes or the wishes of that people who have selected this representative, and the representative will further elect the main leader of the country. So congratulations, we have completed this objective called as introduction to democracy. The second one is pillars of democracy, and that is about 15th September. So let us first complete pillars of democracy to come after this interesting topic. So what are the pillars of democracy? Why there are pillars of democracy? Democracy is not a house, right? So why there are pillars? If we think that democracy is a house, then these pillars are very important, because if these pillars are absent or broken down, then the house will be broken down. That is normally democracy will be not formed properly. And so let us look the pillars of democracy in very details. The first point is that enlightened citizens. So what is enlightened citizens? We already know that citizens are politically aware by the media. So that's it. That is enlightened citizens. Enlightened citizens have people will get informative about the government. How they will get informative through media and nowadays social medias like Facebook. So the second feature is people is morally upright. This means that people can take the right decisions, which is completely linked to the third point. People have the ability to take right decisions, and that is also linked with the fourth point. That is, people. It is not given here, but it is a very important point. So let me tell you this. Fourth feature of mentally, socially, as well as the physically. So, next is wise leadership. Yo, it is a very good topic, right? Why leadership came in this democracy? Yes, there are some leaders that rule the country over the country. So, does it mean that a leader should be wise? Not really. That means a wise leadership means a leader can take a right decision, and the leaders will very efficient in the country and look only in the national interest above the all interest in the country. So, national interest. National interest means that people will be more efficient and they will be more politically aware of the news of the country. And the second point is the leaders will be able to take rule the region properly. That I have already told, right? And the last feature of wise leadership that the political parties or the leader will not discriminate the country or the region that is ruled by him in different parts, such as they cannot divide it by caste or any religion. Okay, and third point is very important. That is sound public opinion. So, what is sound public opinion? Sound public opinion is that people has the ability in the democracy to raise their voice and oppose the government. They have the ability to suggest more things or the more ideas for the betterment of the people, and that is it. The government has to hear the complaints or the oppositions or what can their suggestions of people. The next one is accommodation of differences. So, what is accommodation of differences? As you can see in the screen, accommodation of differences means that the minority parties who have not won in the election can oppose or raise their voice against the majority party or the parties who have won the election. So, what is a majority and minority party? Majority party means that the party for the majority elections or the party who has won the election and became the leader of the region or a country. And the minority party or the loser team of the election. So the minority party can oppose or suggest more ideas to the majority party. And the next one, disciplined citizens, is much related with the enlightened citizens. So, what is disciplined citizens? This name suggests that the citizens should be more disciplined. So, what are the features of disciplined citizens? Disciplined citizens means that citizens should be aware of their rights and duties. This is related to the politically aware. People or citizens should be politically aware. And the country is ensuring the rights of the people. But
feature is that people should use persuasion to bring about change. What is persuasion? Persuasion means that tolerance and inclusiveness. People should not be violent that the change is not being there. It will take time because the media will reach the one part of the country to other part of the country is if it is in a large distance. So people should be persuaded in this democracy. And third point, as we can already see, that people should respect the view of others, and that is what disciplined citizens mean. Then is the disciplined political parties. So we have. So what if the political parties are not disciplined? How the country will be ruled? So it is also important for the political parties to be disciplined. And in the sense, it means that the political parties should play national interest above everything else that is connectly related to the wise leadership. And they should not stand for a particular reason, caste or religion, as told earlier in the wise leadership. And the last or the most important point of the democracy is social and economic equality. What is social equality and economic equality? Economic equality means that the people will get same economic opportunities and they will get the same equal wages for equal work. And what does this social equality mean? We already know that there are some evil practices in our society, such as untouchability. So these are causing the discrimination of the people in the society. So it is need for the social equality to be and evil practices should be banned. The government has also took steps against untouchability. Article 17 is about untouchability. And now is the most important or the interesting point which we will go and explore it about 15 seconds. So I will request all the parents, teachers, principals, my friends to see this YouTube video because this will be connectively linked with the International Day of Democracy. So, what is International Day of Democracy? If you already have seen this video, then I will request you to come and sit with me and discuss a few words about this International Day of Democracy. International Day of Democracy was founded by the United Nations in 2007. And this is the day when people get aware about the democracy. People know that democracy is the best form of government in the world. People know that the government is functioning very, very well. People know that the government is a democratic government and we should respect all others. People know that social equality and economic equality is the best mirror or the best way of following democracy. So thank you for this session and so yeah, bye bye.
A very warm welcome to my respected principal and all my teachers and my beloved friends. So today I, Shanak Majumdar of class 7 is going to present a small presentation on the topic Pillars of Democracy. Enlightened citizens. Now what is enlightened citizens? Now we all know that the democracy cannot work without citizens, or the citizens are the most essential part of a democracy. Now, these citizens also have to follow some rules so that the democracy can proceed in a truly democratic manner. Now, what are these rules? Number one, the citizens should be highly educated. This doesn't mean that they should pass out through university or should pass out through high grades. This means that they should be educated enough to make right decisions at right time. Now, number two, the citizens should have good evaluating and analyzation skills. Number three, the citizens should be morally upright. Number four, the citizens should be politically aware of what is going on in the country. Number five, the citizens should be socially, mentally, and physically healthy. The second pillar of democracy is vice leadership. Now, just before the elections, many political parties await and enlighten the voters so that the voters can elect and make them the majority and they will form the government. Now, just before elections, many public meetings are held in which the issues and problems of people are discussed. Now, this helps the people to make up their minds that whom to vote. Whichever party gets a majority, it gets a chance to form the government. Now, if none of the party gets a majority, the coalition government is formed. Now, if wise leaders are elected and they are given a chance to govern our country, then our country and our democracy will proceed in a truly prosperous manner. The third and the vital pillar of democracy is sound public opinion. What is sound public opinion? The wishes of the people on any issue or problem is referred to as sound public opinion. Now, no democracy or no leaders of a democracy can neglect the sound public opinion. The sound public opinion is referred mostly on the majority. Now, the minority can also express its opinion because every people has the freedom to express its own thoughts and opinions. Thus, and if a government neglects the sound public opinion, the people or the citizens can remove it in the next elections. The fourth and essential pillar of democracy is accommodation of differences. Now, what is accommodation of differences? As we all know that the political party which gets the majority number of seats governs the country. Now, if none of the political parties gets the majority number of seats, a coalition government is formed. But the minority political parties cannot be neglected. Inclusiveness and tolerance are the two most important features of accommodation of differences. Now, what is tolerance? Tolerance is a virtue which is an important feature of a democracy. Suppose a minority political party has many complaints against the majority. The majority cannot neglect it, nor it can do any harm to the minority political parties, as the minority political party has its complete right and has its complete freedom to express its opinions and its complaints against the majority. If the majority neglects it, then we will assume it as the majority political party is neglecting the public opinion. So the public can remove that majority political party in the next election. Thus, the majority political party has to tolerate that complaint and can solve it so that the people can be happy and can elect that majority political party again and again to run the government. The fifth pillar of democracy is disciplined citizens. Here, from the word we can understand that the citizens have to be disciplined so that the democracy can proceed in an efficient manner. Now, these disciplined citizens are much more different than the discipline we follow in school. Here, the discipline word means number one, citizens should be aware of their rights and duties. Number two, no violence or use of force has no place in a democracy. Persuasion, not coercion, should be the aim of every people in a democracy. Number three, the citizens should be enough confident to express its opinions, as it has its complete freedom to express its opinions, whether it is sharp contrast to ours. We should always respect others' opinions and never neglect it. The sixth and the last pillar of democracy is disciplined political parties. Now, as we all know that political parties are the soul of democracy. So, if the representatives of the political parties are disciplined and enlightened enough, our country and our democracy will work in a very smooth and efficient manner. Now, the political parties, the main aim of the political parties should be to look the welfare and good of each and every people in a democracy. They should have a national outlook and should place national interest above everything else. They should not stand for a particular region, religion, or caste, creed. Their motto should be national integration, not fragmentation. If such enlightened and disciplined representatives of the political party run the government, our country and our democracy will really work in a smooth and efficient manner. Equality and justice. Now, we can define equality and justice with the rules of a house. So, the six pillars of a democracy are incomplete without equality and justice, as the roof of the house only protects the pillars of the house from any damage or any natural disasters. So, the equality and justice can be defined as a roof, as it only protects the six pillars of democracy. Without equality and justice, none of the democratic society can be called democratic. Now, we all know what is equality. Everybody should respect and love. Everybody should respect and love each other, same to as how we are respected. Now, if anybody is insulted with harsh words or harsh actions, he has complete right to complain it to the government, so the government can give the person right justice. Now, we should never insult anyone, or we should never discriminate anyone on the basis of gender, caste, creed. If we insult or discriminate anyone, then we are disturbing the balance of equality and justice in a democracy.